up, Grace Report? Happy Friday. I was about to say happy Thursday. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? I am so tired. I had to work the morning shift and my shift the last 2 days. What's up, Tammy, Carol, D Nice, Wendy Marino, Nerd Report, D Nice, thank you for being a member of the Wolfpack for 24 months. It's already been that long. Holy crap. Hearts for D Nice. And Wendy, thank you for that super sticker of the cute corgi. Hearts for Wendy. Thank you, ladies. Matthew, what is up? Heather, whatever. Heather, whatever goes like look alert. I think I look tired. And then we're having a mini heat wave here in SoCal. Today was like 90 something. So Mother Earth is going through menopause right now. Because it's weird. Tomorrow's gonna be hotter, and then like Monday, it's gonna be like in the 70s, like 20 degrees cooler. So I don't know what's going on. What's up, Denny Rose? How's it going? I'll take Denny, I'll take your cold. I am not a fan of the heat. I don't mind it for a little bit, but then after a while, I'm like, I'm done with it. We'll wait a few more minutes for people to trickle in before I get into the nitty gritty. Has anyone watched anything interesting? I know Hard Eyes is now out on Netflix. It should be. I have not had a chance to watch anything as of yet, but I am looking forward to that. So I'm probably going to watch it this weekend. If I can find where my streaming services are. They're there. Device failure. My butt. Oh, no, I gotta sign in. Forget it. But Hard Eyes should be on Netflix. So I am gonna be watching that this weekend. Thank you, D Nice. It's a cat ear one, but you can't see here. You can't see the cat ears. I like this one. I like the colors on it. You would never think that green and purple go. I mean, that's more of a lavender, but you wouldn't think that those two colors would go together, but they do. Wendy goes 4 ears. Yep, I do have 4 ears. As always, guys, because I saw Carol in the chat, she reminded me. Skeleduck is somewhere in my background. Just remind me at the end of the stream, and I will reveal his location. If you do not know who Skeleduck is or what I am talking about, give me one moment. He is located in my upper right-hand corner. It's probably going to be your upper left-hand corner. That is what he looks like. I hide him every stream, and this is not him. This is his older brother that goes to the gym because he pumps it up. That is not him, but he looks similar to him. Right there. But just remind me back by the end of the stream and I will reveal his location because I will forget. We're going to start off with some movie news because you know how I like horror movie news. They are making another Silent Hill. Actually, I'm not mad about this one. I did like the game. I didn't really play the game that much, to be honest with you, but there's elements of the game that I liked. I did like Silent Hill. With the crazy nurses, and then you got Pyramid Head. But Christopher Gaines' return to Silent Hill has acquired for wide theatrical release. Yes, they're making another Silent Hill. I mean, I'm not mad about this one. This is more of like another Silent Hill. It's not a remake. Silent Hill movie director Christoph Gaines returns to the franchise with Return to Silent Hill, and the newest chapter is headed to the big screen per Variety. Bloody Disgusting's parent company, Cineverse, has acquired Return to Silent Hill for wide theatrical release in America, with the film's release date forthcoming, which means when it does come on streaming, it's probably going to be on Screambox, because Screambox is a Cineverse universe streaming service. Terrifier's also a Cineverse film. So and it is on Screambox as well. Though you could get the second and the first one on Tubi, which is a free app where you could stream all sorts of movies, not just horror. Jeremy Irving stars as James, a man broken after his relationship with the love of his life, Mary, ends when a mysterious letter from her calls him back to Silent Hill. He finds a once recognizable town transformed by an unknown evil. While James desperately searches for Mary, he encounters terrifying creatures and begins to unravel the mystery of what happened to the town. But as he descends deeper into the darkness, the secrets he uncovers leads to a horrifying, terrifying truth, and James finds himself struggling to hold on long enough to save his one true love. Hannah Emily Anderson also stars. Gans, who also helmed the 2006 feature Holy Crap, That's How Long It's Been adaptation, wrote the script alongside Sandra Vaughan and William Joseph Schneider. I'm delighted to partner with Cineverse, which has shown a genuine understanding of fanship. Return to Silent Hill is an adaptation created out of a deep respect for a true masterpiece of a game, Konami's iconic Silent Hill 2. I hope fans will enjoy and be fulfilled with the experience this new film has to offer, Gon said in a statement. So this is one of the video game turned to movie that I thought was deep. I liked it. There's a lot of them that they did and I didn't like Super Mario Brothers. I haven't seen the newer ones yet, so I can't speak of those, but the ones in the past, yeah. But this Silent Hill and Resident Evil, I felt like they did a good job bringing it from the gaming world to the movie world. So this I'm kind of I mean I'll watch this. Uh I mean it's as long as they have the crazy, I'm sure they'll probably have, the crazy nurses come back in there somewhere. This will be the third official Silent Hill live action movie, coming in the wake of Gon's directed Silent Hill in 2026 and 2012. Sequel, Silent Hill Revelation, directed by M.J. Bassett. I have to rewatch these. I remember the first one, but I don't remember the second one. Return to Silent Hill is said to be a faithful adaptation of Konami's popular Silent Hill 2, which recently received a remake from Blober Team. That's a departure from the 2006 film, because I'm used to saying 2025. Directed by Gons and penned by Roger Avery, a very loose adaptation of the original Konami game. Stay tuned for the release details on the return of Silent Hill as a return. So are you guys excited to see the next installment of Silent Hill? Denny Rose is happy for another Silent Hill. Dusty! Yay! I'm so glad you're in your new home. D Nice goes, I'm glad that I'm not asleep this time. It's a miracle. And she's also asking, how's the pup? She's doing good. She's in my room in her crate for the moment. I didn't want to put her in there, but I don't want her getting into stuff because she gets into things. Julianne, what's up? Leonore, how's it going? There's also Believe it or not, there is going to be another Conjuring movie. It's the very last one. Um, I always, when I talk about jump scares, I always refer to these movies because I feel like these movies are the birthplace of theatrical jump scares. And what I mean by that is loud sounds and following the jump scares. It's something I do not like. I do talk about this a lot. I like subtle jump scares. I don't need the theatrical, I don't need the loud brrr, like the, minor chords in the background and then something pops up when you already know something's going to pop up. I don't need that. I like the subtle ones where, you got the camera movements and you got something crawling up the wall behind the person doesn't know it. That's the type of jump scare I like, or something that catches you off guard. But these these movies, I mean, it also brought the Conjuring house to popularity because of these movies. Though the story of the Conjuring, um, when it comes to the more I learn about Ed and Lorraine Warren, the more I don't believe in them. I mean, when I first got into, I mean, I've always been into paranormal, but when I started like really getting into it, um, I was a big fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Who isn't, right? Because you hear the cases, right? The Conjuring, Amityville, and you're like, oh my God, are those real? Holy crap. And then once you start digging in and reading, articles, and I've spoke about them before in the past here on Grayson Report, you then you begin to realize that maybe they aren't who they say they are. And don't get me wrong, I do believe in psychics. I do believe I do believe in paranormal, you know, but I also have a skepticism when it comes to people because anyone could just say they're a skeptic, they're a psychic, and they could tell you things. And some people believe it, and it's not right for those people, especially when they're looking for answers. You know what I mean? And I mean, we will never know because they both passed, but I still feel that even I know Matthew in the chat has mentioned about Amityville, um that the people currently living in the home has never had an issue. And then you've got, like, just recently you've got the house that was featured in Poltergeist, which ghost hunters had gone to. Same owner for 40 years. All of a sudden somebody buys it because it went on I think it was 40 years. Um they put their house on the market. Somebody buys it and all of a sudden there's paranormal activity. Um I don't blame these people for doing it because houses here in SoCal are super expensive. Um and obviously probably to get them to film into your house, they probably gave her, they gave her something obviously. I don't know how it works, but I'm guessing. You know what I mean? And then to have the Ghost Adventure crew in your house, come on. But I don't blame those people, but it's still kind of it just I don't think the Poltergeist house is haunted. The Conjuring house, I'm 50-50. I can't really say it's haunted or not because I've never been there. I probably will not go there because the current owner, she will never sell it. Um, and I believe too, I think it's closed because she lost her business license. So it's not really open. But this movie is what brought that house hype. Um, and they're making one more called The Last Rites and what we know about Ed and Lorraine Warren's last case. It's been 11 years since James Wan's The Conjuring crept its way into theaters in July 2013, spawning not only one of the most successful horror franchises of all time, but the first interconnected cinematic universe in the horror genre, aptly dubbed the Conjuring universe. What began as a simple but very effective haunted house film loosely based on true events. Most of these films that are based on true events, it's loose. It's loose. Like the director or the writers take their own liberty. Like obviously there's certain things that in a true story that may not translate or be interesting in a movie. So they will add things to make it interesting, and I don't blame them for doing that because obviously the point of a movie is to entertain, and also the point of a movie, if you're making one, is also to get the ratings and make the money back that you spent on um the movie. But and there's been other films that they said based on true events, and I'm like, this is nothing like the story that I heard. Um, Same thing with this. I feel like this story with the Conjuring house, it's got contradicting stories. Where I'm still skeptical about it. So, a haunted house filmed loosely based on true events eventually became a series of branching paths, blurring the real life investigation of Ed and Lorraine Warren with fictitious horror trappings and extended lore to craft one of the more unique franchises in Hollywood today. Within the Conjuring universe, multiple subseries have been spawned, including the Nun and Annabelle franchise, both serving as spin offs to the main series of films. The Nun, I did not like the film, but I like the concept of it. An evil nun, come on, right? Annabelle, I mean, obviously we know who Annabelle is. Annabelle, the real life Annabelle is the Raggedy Ann doll, which I have one behind me. Except the Annabelle is a little bigger than this one that I have. Which I think is more is more scarier than the actual one in the movie, but the one in the movies looks pretty scary too as well. It looks like it has like a porcelain type of vintage look to it. Um, I didn't really care for those movies. I was like, they were okay. Both servings as spin-offs to the main series of the films, with a current total of 9 entries, or 8 depending on whether you include the Curse of Ya Llorona or not. The Conjuring universe has grossed a combined 2.2 billion at the worldwide box office, making it the highest grossing film or horror franchise ever. I don't consider the Curse of Ya Llorona part of that universe because it's a complete different entity. I feel it is completely different. It's based on folklore and um again, that movie was okay too. It's not the best I've ever seen, but in high school when I was taking Spanish class, we did talk a lot about Ya Llorona, so I've always been um like interested in that. So even reading the stories about her is awesome. As for the core Conjuring series, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who play Ed and Lorraine Warren, have had 3 solo outings to date, the last of which, The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, debuting back in the summer of 2021. The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, they actually have a documentary. I don't know if it's still out, but there was a documentary of the actual story. Um, I kind of want to believe that story. Um, I kinda do, and I kinda like, I'm 50-50 when it comes to it. After nearly 4 years, the Warrens are finally returning to the big screen with The Conjuring: Last Rites, the 4th and supposedly final film in the series, thank goodness. Per the words of James Wan, while audiences await their first look at the final installment in the Conjuring franchise, here is a deep dive into everything we know about The Conjuring: Last Rites so far. I personally liked, Insidious better than The Conjuring. I always enjoyed Lin Shaye, who was in it. I for some odd reason I just liked that movie better, even though it still had the same jump scares and I just like that one better than The Conjuring. I think that one to me is more interesting um than even though they're both horror, I just feel like it was more interesting to me than The Conjuring. Nerd Report goes the spoiler, the villain in The Conjuring is Bambi. Julianne goes, I never liked them, but they did help bring light to the paranormal. Matthew never liked them, talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Nerd Report goes, yeah, Llorona has crossover characters with The Conjuring. Yeah, but the story, I don't consider it part of the Conjuring universe though, because it has nothing to do with Ed and Lorraine Warren. Nerd Report goes, it's not the last one. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure Nerd Report goes, they are calling this phase one. Heather, whatever goes, my two youngest sons heard an entity around our trailer in Baja. I was in the building connected to the trailers and they didn't tell me about it, but told a friend's dad who said, Ya Llorona. Who cries, a lady in white who cries for her children. Does The Conjuring Last Rites have a release date? One asks. To keep it short and simple, the answer is yes. The Conjuring Last Rites has an official release date of September 5th, 2025. September seems to be a month where they kind of release horror films. But then also, too, I considered September the start of Halloween season. So it makes sense. This makes the fourth Conjuring film the first entry in the core series to receive a fall release date, whereas the first three each premiered in the thick of the summer movie season. Also slated for release in September 2025 is fellow franchise horror flick Saw. I thought they canceled this. 11, the latest entry in yet another long-running series originally launched by James Wan with the 2004 modern horror classic Saw. Curiously, there is only one major studio horror film currently scheduled to release in October, the month of Halloween. That movie is The Black Phone 2. I did actually enjoy um The Black Phone. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's actually a pretty good film. The sequel to director Scott Derrickson's horror hit from 2022. However, it should be noted that the first weekend of September has proven quite successful for the Conjuring universe, with both The Nun and its sequel opening to rock solid numbers on the very same weekend. So that may explain Warner Brothers' decision to open The Conjuring Last Rites closer to Halloween. Will The Conjuring Last Rites be released in theaters or on streaming? It's going to be released in theaters. The Conjuring Last Rites will receive an exclusive theatrical run upon release, as has been the case with all but one of the previous Conjuring movies, with the exception being The Devil Made Me Do It. However, Last Rites will eventually make its debut on Max after the film wraps its stint in theaters, likely around December 2025 or January of 2026, which is when I will be seeing it. Should it follow the standard 3-month theatrical period. However, 2023's The Nun 2 was rushed to Max rather quickly, launching on the service on October 27th, not even 2 months after landing in theaters. This proves that WB isn't afraid to potentially push The Conjuring Last Rites to streaming should they find it necessary. And it seems like movies are coming onto a streaming service quicker nowadays than it used to be. I feel like in the past it used to be like 6 months before you can even see like anything, and now it's like a month after it's on VOD, and then a couple months or like a month later it's on streaming. So it's pretty quick now. Is there a trailer for Conjuring Last Rites? At this time of writing, The Conjuring Last Rites has yet to receive an official trailer. Considering the film still has 9 months until its debut, it will likely be sometime before fans get their first look at Ed and Lorraine Warren's final haunting. The actors they chose to play Ed and Lorraine Warren were amazing. They are amazing actors. If one were to speculate, it's most likely that Last Rites will receive its first trailer toward the end of quarter one, if not early quarter two, whatever that means. I don't know when the quarter's in the entertainment industry. What is the plot of The Conjuring Last Rites? Most would say the plot synopsis is rather vague, and they're right. This is because the official plot details of Conjuring Last Rites have yet to be revealed beyond this short blurb, so fans will have to wait a little longer to get more information on the various paranormal forces the Warrens will face in their last outing. For future updates on the Conjuring Last Rites, check this out later, because they have to advertise themselves. So it basically says paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. Who's starring in The Conjuring Last Rites? We kind of already know. It's the same people. While there isn't a lot of information on the characters that will be played in The Last Rites, it has been confirmed that alongside Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, the final Conjuring movies will add two new faces to the mix. These new additions are actors Ben Hardy from Bohemian Rhapsody and Mia Tomlinson, The Beast Must Die. However, nothing is currently known about their roles in the film beyond their inclusion. It's very likely that we'll see the cast expand further in the near future as more cast members are announced. And who is making The Conjuring Last Rites, since we all want to know, right? Not really. The Conjuring Last Rites is directed by series veteran Michael Chavez, who previously helmed the third film in the series, The Devil Made Me Do It. Chavez featured directorial debut was the Conjuring spinoff, The Curse of Ya Llorona, the only movie in the Conjuring universe to not receive a sequel to date, arguably because it doesn't technically count as an official entry. It doesn't need, and also too, it doesn't need a sequel. Like, honestly, what more can you do of The Curse of Ya Llorona besides, I mean, the first one obviously tells the story. I feel like there's not much you could do with her. uh, Honestly. Chavez was also behind The Nun 2, making Last Rites the director's fourth foray into the universe. When and where did The Conjuring Last Rites film? The Conjuring Last Rites recently wrapped filming on October 10th, 2024. The film's production period was rather short compared to your average studio blockbuster, lasting only 1 month total. Beginning on September 10th, The Last Rites underwent filming in London, England, which was previously the setting for James Wan's The Conjuring 2. Despite that film shooting largely on Hollywood sets, with only a handful of scenes shot on location in London. Obviously, when this one comes out, I am gonna probably watch it on Max. I usually tend to wait for them to come on streaming sources. I'm more of a girl that likes to watch the movies on the couch in the comfort of my own home. But a lot of times too with horror movies, it's a hit and miss when it comes to those. So I'd rather just wait for streaming. Delea, what is up? D Nice goes, movies are streaming sooner because they don't make them like they used to. True. Very true. There's still a process when making a movie, but obviously I feel like um I mean before movies weren't, I mean there were special effects, but it wasn't, I felt like movies back then, depending on the movie. Obviously Star Wars did use special effects, right? But now we've got, better computers, better technology, so we've got CGI, movies replacing what were practical effects back in the 80s now is computer generated, and honestly they look like crap. I prefer the practical effects over that. I mean, they still, obviously with Chucky, they did try they tried to do that CGI BS, and I was like, nah, I ain't having it. Chucky looked like, I think it was I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that. They CGI'd Chucky, and he looked like, I don't know, it was not Chucky. Um, I know this series that they had, I think it was on Hulu. I think it was on Hulu. They did use practical effects, which I'm all for. That's where he needs to be. He does not need to be CGI'd. Same thing with Pennywise. Any of the horror icons do not need to be CGI'd. Please do not do that. D Nice goes, same better at home than in the theater with someone in the front on their phone. Oh my god, yes. There's always that one person that's in front of you scrolling through their phone, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you even here? Like, go home. D Dice goes, oh my god, that was a knockoff Chucky, a disgrace. It's, I watched it and I was like, what the hell did I finish watching? What is up, Gunner Girl? What is up, Kyle? There's also another M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan. I was gonna say Shyamalan movie that is going to come out. I do like his movie. Movies. I did not like his last one. Cool concept, but it was I had too many questions while watching it. There was too many questions, like a normal person would ask, but in the movie they weren't doing it. You know what I mean? So it was like I just trapped. That was one that I didn't really like. Of his movies, the twist at the end, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't a twist, really. I felt like I wasn't surprised by the twist in Trapped. And then obviously when you watch M. Night Shyamalan's movies, he makes a cameo in every single one of his movies. So I always look forward to see who he's playing in the movie as well. M. Night Shyamalan's Remain, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, set for an October 2026 release. Warner Brothers has set an October 23rd, 2026 release date. That is my anniversary of my mom's passing for M. Night Shyamalan's supernatural romance thriller, Remain. Shyamalan co-created the story with author Nicholas Sparks. What? Nicholas Sparks is like The Notebook. Like romance. What? A Walk to Remember, and independently writing a screenplay and a novel based on the same concept and characters, but tailored to their respective mediums. Jake Gyllenhaal, who was in Donnie Darko, Phoebe Dynevor, Bridgerton, and Ashley Walters' Adolescence, will star in the film. Sparks' Remain novel, published on October 7th, 2025 via Random House. So you'll have a year to read it before seeing the movie. Here's the book synopsis. Usually 9 times out of 10, the book is a lot better than the movie. When New York architect Tate Donovan arrives in Cape Cod to design his best friend's summer home, he is hoping to make a fresh start. Recently discharged from an upscaled psychiatric facility where he was treated for acute depression, he's still wrestling with the pain of losing his beloved sister. Sylvia's deathbed revelation that she can see spirits who are still tethered to the living world, a gift that runs in their family, sits uneasy with Tate, who struggles to believe in more than what reason can explain. But when he takes up residence at a historic bed and breakfast on the Cape, he encounters a beautiful young woman named Wren, who will challenge every assumption he has about his logical and controlled world. Tate and Wren find themselves forging an immediate connection, one that neither has ever experienced before. So, this kind of has my interest piqued because, Nicholas Spark, it's like chick flick, right? You got The Notebook. I love The Notebook. Did I read that book? I don't think I read that book. I read, but I love The Notebook. He's more, like I said, chick flick, romance, fairy tale kind of thing. And then you got M. Night Shyamalan, who's like, he's twisted, kind of horrific. So now I'm wondering, okay, he's gonna make what? Is this gonna be like a twisted romance? Tate realizes that in order to free Wren from an increasingly desperate fate, he will need to unearth the truth about her past before time runs out. A quest that will make him doubt whether we can either believe the stories we tell about ourselves and the laws that govern or exist our existence. Love, while transformative, can sometimes be frightening. Remain is produced by Shyamalan and Ashwin Rajan. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. From Blinding Edge Pictures, alongside Sparks' longtime producing partner Teresa Park and Mark Benstock. Sparks serves as executive producer. It's worth noting that Jordan Peele's as yet entitled 4th film is also currently due out on October 23rd, 2026 from Universal. So it's likely that one will ultimately move. Jordan Peele, you didn't hear from me. He is overrated. But there is a book. So if you guys are, I may check that out. Actually, I may get back into reading just to check this out because my interest is piqued. There is a book. So we have time to read the book before the movie comes out in October 2026. And I'm actually curious. Is this like a terrific terrifying romantic romance or what. I do not picture Nicholas Sparks and M. Night Shyamalan. I do not. This is a weird mix, but uh nonetheless, hopefully it's something good. Um Time will tell. We'll see what it is. D Nice, you have never seen The Notebook? What? Pesky YouTube sending notifications later. What? Delay Alex goes surviving Grayson report. Leo turned 8 years old. D Nice with that's why I was getting tongue tied because I was thinking of you saying Shamalanga Ding Dong. That's weird because my phone. Oh, I was like, why? What did I get notified for? Julianne has not seen The Notebook. Nerd Report is done with M Night. Wendy saw it, never read it. I don't think I read the book. I saw the movie. It's probably it's actually one of my favorite movies. Yes, I like chick flicks. Very rare, but there are a few that I like. Heather, whatever. Thank you for being great. Wish it was more hearts for Heather, whatever. Thank you for that super chat. D Nice or Diddy Rose goes, your Uber has arrived because of the last movie, Wendy. Trapped. So I'm kind of when with the updates on the Conjuring house and Jacqueline Nunez, I'm kind of behind when it comes to this. I am there is a Facebook group. Um if you guys are on Facebook and would like to join, it's called The Conjuring House. Um it's actually where Jason Hawes is a member of it too. They post stuff about the Conjuring House. I have not found somebody posted this. It says another turn in the road. Nunez found guilty in absentia, but I have not found an article speaking of this, so I don't know like where this came from because I can't find it, so I don't want to like really speak about it. But they do post stuff about Jacqueline and people do converse. So if you guys are, it is a private group. It's called The Conjuring House. If you guys are wanting to see that drama and some funny things that people post, check it out. But Jason did post on here. Oh, yeah, right. M. Night, Nerd Report said M. Night ruined Glass. That's right. Very true. But he also posted on that Facebook group, and I think Matthew kind of pointed it out a while ago, but I just been so busy that I haven't had a chance to check it out. But I'm gonna enlarge this because I cannot see this. So I think this is from Jacqueline Nunez's Facebook page. She does have like a page where she's been talking. And Jason Hawes shared this. Let me see if I could get to the. Oh, it won't let me go to the original. Um. So I don't know when this was posted. I know it was a while ago. Jason Hawes of Rhode Island, hired by CBS Media, is a T and is being harbored next door to me. Most of my email addresses are completely hijacked. My Yahoo email will not allow files larger than 25 megabytes. That is nothing. Terrible people have done everything they can to silence me. So I will continue to take my talking videos to this platform. So she does have, because the Conjuring House, the actual business page to the Conjuring House Facebook page was shut down because she was going, berserk on that. And I felt like a lot of the stuff she was seeing on her business page shouldn't have been on the business page in the first place. So she does have her own Facebook page. What happened? I experienced a failed detonation or pew pew fire at the picture window of my home. This video tells me who was responsible for another attempt to unalive me. The video tells me it is Jason Hawes being harbored by my next door neighbors, John and Donna Moran. Jason is a TV host of the paranormal show Ghost Hunters. He's also a serial killer and T. Okay. Perhaps, and what I mean by T, it's Terrorist. YouTube will shut me down if they hear me say it more than once. Perhaps someday law enforcement in the Northeast will hold him and others accountable. I have complained about his crimes against me and others since May of 2024, and to my knowledge, no one has ever been questioned, nor have I ever been interviewed about any crimes against me. Last year, I complained about Jason and my previous staff to attorney generals, federal AGs, police departments, governors, and the media of several surrounding states. Also, a side note, I keep hearing that people are being told that I am so wealthy and have so many resources, but that I have not shared one dime with any community. Let me see if it. Hold on. If I am wealthy, someone has stolen it because I have never received one dime of this so-called wealth. In fact, by December of 2024, 100% of my income from the Conjuring House has been stolen from me after stealing my earnings throughout my ownership. These criminals from Rhode Island have only stolen almost everything from me, starting in 1987 by taking my grandmother Marie Dufresne's Emery's bequeathment to me and my siblings. I still have my home in Boston. TCH, I think they keep telling me they stole it. My pets, my vehicle, and about 68,000 to my entire name and life. I wouldn't be telling the world how much you have. Tortures Torturers from Rhode Island and my neighborhood in Savin Hill tell me all the time through torture software that their goal is to make me homeless if they fail to unalive me. They have stolen almost everything, and this afternoon was the latest attempt to blow up my home. I am the person who has saved all of humanity. I am told it is known. I am also the contactee for disclosures on crimes against humanity. So that is in Jacqueline Nunez's own words. Jason Hawes has posted it. As you could see, or as you could hear from me reading it, she's still not 100% there. Or she just needs help. But she keeps going. Now she is saying that Jason Hawes, the host of Ghost Hunters, is a serial killer and a T, which I don't think so, but she just needs help, and she is the type of woman that I know will never get any help. Heather, whatever goes, she continues to be weird. I'm glad you aren't going there, Lisa. Denny goes, she's not helping her cause. Definitely not. So, I mean, I can't say it on YouTube because YouTube is pesky. So what I mean by T, it's that uh TERRORIST is what I mean by T. Because YouTube likes to be pesky. I did a video on here a while ago, I think it was 2 years ago when I did it, and it was a hiking video of the Colorado Street Bridge. And we all know the Colorado Street Bridge is also known as the S Bridge here. Everyone knows here in SoCal about the story of the S Bridge, right? It's had over 150, you know, in its lifetime. People think it's haunted. Haven't been on top of the bridge, but I've been underneath it. I had a weird feeling when I was underneath it. Usually when I'm hiking, I hike alone a lot of times. But usually I don't get, I'm usually pretty comfortable, but when I got underneath that bridge, that's where I got very uncomfortable. But a year later, YouTube decides to put a restriction on it, and I get an email saying, "Am I okay? Um, are you okay? There are ways to help you." And I'm like, don't get me wrong, those hotlines are there for people who need them, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm glad those hotlines are there. So if you're feeling like you need to unalive yourself, please take it upon yourself to call those hotlines. But they were directing it to me like I was having that issue. But on a video that was talking about the history of the Colorado Street Bridge or the S Bridge. So that's why you got to be careful here on YouTube of things that you say. And I'm pretty sure some of those videos that I've done in the past where I've talked about, because I've talked about serial killers, I've talked about, the crimes that they've done. I'm sure that's going to be flagged and they're going to pop up saying I need help with something else. But Denny Rose goes, "Yes, don't. Please reach out and get help." Heather Wetter goes, "Oh my, they misheard." Exactly, they did. And they also put, the as prevention on the description of my video, which I had no problem with it. That I didn't have, but they did make it age restricted because of it. So that's the kind of the reason why I'm kind of you got to be careful what you say. So why a ghost hunter star says the real Conjuring house is haunting him in real life. I actually started off when I was watching these ghost hunting shows. I started off with ghost hunters. Um Huge fan of ghost hunters. I that was the one I would watch. Now the tables turned. I'm like a huge fan of Ghost Adventures, but I just recently started watching Ghost Adventures is when they investigated the Cecil Hotel, and I'm obsessed with the Cecil Hotel. So that was when I just became a fan of Ghost Adventures, and I hadn't seen a ghost hunting show in years. But Ghost Hunters is always I've always been a fan of Jason, Grant, Steve, and I know Jason now it seems like he's doing his own thing on his YouTube channel where he shows his investigation. He's investigating things on there. I do know they're no longer with Discovery. I don't know the reasonings. It might have been the network probably wanted them to do something that they didn't want to do, which I don't blame them. Good for them to good for them for holding their ground and believing who they are. Because I felt like with Discovery, because I always knew the distinction, like you could tell the difference, like what Ghost Hunters is and what Ghost Adventures was. And when they brought him back on Discovery, Ghost Hunters was getting this. It kind of was like they were trying to mesh the two. Like I know Ghost Adventures does a lot of theatrics when they talk about like the house they're investigating, right? So they show a lot of theatrics, they show a lot of aerial views, they show like actors in a room, like, creepy, dressed up, to scare, just to, get the vibe. Ghost Hunters wasn't like that. Ghost Hunters were more like, here we are at the so and so house. But then I started seeing those little subtle things where they were getting aerial views, like their production was like, it kind of reminded me of Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures. And I'm like, what is going on here? So, it was probably something to where they wanted them to do something that they didn't want to do. Matthew goes, it's way better on YouTube than TV. Don't have the music playing when they are ghost hunting. True, because with YouTube, it's him doing it. You know what I mean? He doesn't have he doesn't have the network telling him what to do. He can put out whatever he wants. With network, they're telling him what he can put out. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. I mean, it's still not a platform that he owns, but it's something where he can still do what he loves and show places that he's investigating. So it's an awesome idea that he's doing it. And if you guys are interested in that, check out Jason Hawes on YouTube. He does have some cool videos, and it's not, his videos don't have like the theatrics. His videos don't have, it's him going through a house, like any of us probably would do an actual, but with a camera and investigating. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, check out his YouTube. D Nice goes, if you or someone you love is in need or help, please seek professional help within your area. People online are not your therapist. We can lend an ear, but don't get carried away. Very true. Denny watches the Paranormal Twins and Exploring with Josh. I could not get into any of those. I was watching Franco TV for a while, and my thing is with those, I do know a lot of those YouTube channels, they do add things to their videos, and that's what I felt while watching Exploring with Josh kind of didn't, but with Exploring with Josh, I felt like, I don't know, I just wasn't interested in him. But he wasn't, Exploring with Josh wasn't, but I know some of them do, like where they'll add stuff for theatrical, because come on, people aren't going to watch unless there's something going on, or if you're a fan of that person, you're going to watch no matter what, right? Matthew goes, Jason has done drone shots on YouTube when they did the Tesla video. The hits were usually trees, other physical objects showing up as people. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm kind of behind with watching his videos because like I've been kind of busy, but I do get notified for him because I do follow his channel. So but not many reality shows are as unsettling as Ghost Hunters, created by Craig Pilgin. The series saw a group of paranormal experts travel across the country and at times even the world to investigate supposedly haunted places in the hopes of finding evidence of ghosts. It's an investigative program that has yielded countless disturbing moments, from creepy voices to shocking apparitions. This group's leader, Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson, oh my God, I can't read today, have encountered some of the most unsettling evidence of the supernatural that society has ever seen. It's been amazing to watch them dedicate dozens of episodes to granting viewers a closer look into the afterlife. But who could have guessed that their biggest opponent would have been in one of their many haunted houses? It wouldn't even be a spirit. No, with the intense legal battles that have gone on in recent years, it's clear who ghost hunter Jason Hawes' true mortal enemy is, and that is Jacqueline Nunez, owner of the infamous house that inspired the horror film The Conjuring. Ghost Hunters versus The Conjuring, which horror franchise comes out on top? People who hate horror may be unacquainted with the thrilling epic that is Ghost Hunters, and they have even less of a chance knowing that hit scary movie The Conjuring was inspired by the very real old Arnold estate in Burville, Rhode Island. This house has a long history of evil. When they moved in during the 70s, the large Perrin family reported objects moving, strange noises, and an overwhelmingly sense of dread that led them and many experts to claim that there was something malicious haunting the house. These documented hauntings became so famous that they not only inspired James Wan's legendary horror film The Conjuring, but Ghost Hunters actually visited the ominous abode in their second season. I know Ghost Hunt Adventures did as well. The settings, supposed hauntings, made it perfect for Jason Hawes and his team to explore the haunted halls. Though while they left that episode intact, nobody could have expected the real trouble would have come with when Hawes filed a police report against owner Jacqueline Nunez for harassment years later. This all began when Jacqueline Nunez, proud proprietor of the old Arnold estate, claimed to have seen Hawes stalking around her property at night on a security camera. This led to an alleged cavalcade of harassment from the owner. Hawes went to the Rhode Island police claiming that since his supposed sighting, which he claims to have an alibi for, he has received nonstop digital hatred from the owner. Some of these text messages were just extremely vile, said Hawes, as he described why things have gotten so bad that he felt the only option was the authorities. And then I have spoke about this in past videos as well. It was reported that suddenly spiraled into numerous revelations about Nunez's past legal troubles, with Hawes being only the latest in a long series of individuals who have pursued legal action against the woman. From refusing to pay employees, one of whom being Hawes' own daughter, to sending more hate messages to various other enemies, to even wrongfully terminating someone because she claims a spirit told her to, the impassioned caregiver has upset many former workers who felt the only option was reporting her to the police. But just like with all of these, Nunez claims that Hawes is lying and that the man is trying to not only take away her beloved haunted home, but is even planning to turn her into one of the ghosts he haunts. No ghost is as exciting as the intense legal battle. No matter what fans of either Hunters and The Conjuring think, they have to remember that the feud between Hawes and Nunez is a complex legal battle that still hasn't been resolved. For almost a year now, there's been no announcement about where this situation is going and what will happen to either side, with each one sure that they're in the right. In many ways, it's mysterious as the ghastly investigations that Hawes conducted on his show. Yet, no matter where this goes, one thing is for sure: the situation is more shocking than any apparent haunting ever could be. And yeah, it is. It's crazy what this woman, um, and she knows. I'm pretty sure she knows what people think of her, and she sees, the videos obviously, and she just keeps on going. And I feel like too, if there were some legal stipulations against me, and I had a lawyer, the lawyer would be telling me to not, speak. So I feel like, yeah, both of these parties have made claims about ghosts for years, but this is one of the first times fans have seen the embroiled in a tangible conflict with visible stakes on the line. It's upsetting in so many ways, but through the wild showdown between a ghost hunter and a haunted house owner, viewers and true crime aficionados alike are getting a deep look into one of the biggest fights the paranormal world has ever seen. Denny, speaking about exploring with Josh, he just explores areas that are closed off. I like the traveling without leaving my house. I mean, yeah, true. But I could not get into him for some odd reason. Denny, I think you're talking about maybe a haunting, because a haunting does a reenactment. I know there was another show too that I love. I don't know. I think you can still see ghost hunters somewhere. Because I know Max has been pulling a lot of the shows off. I don't know about ghost hunters, but I know Ghost Adventures they have. Um, so I'm not sure where you could see ghost hunters at the moment, but I'm sure it's somewhere. But the poor guy, he's not even on the property, and Jacqueline Nunez has some stitch with him for some odd reason. I feel bad because that just, I mean, come on, like, leave the guy alone. He's not even anywhere near your property. I feel bad for him to have to go through that, and it's a pain. It really is. It is kind of scary because you don't know, because she's not in the right mind. You know what I mean? So it is kind of scary. It's when you're if you're involved with someone that's not in the right mind, you don't know which direction it's going to go, and that's scary. Matthew goes, a haunting was good until they started doing nothing but demon, this and that. Originally, a lot of urban legends. There was a show, I forgot the name of it, but it was on Netflix. And I forgot the name of it, but I liked it. I don't think it was a haunting. Maybe it was a haunt. I don't know. I don't remember. Heather, whatever goes, I wonder how often she calls the police. That's a very good trick. The police are probably like, yes, ma'am. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions and I'll give you a few minutes to look for Skeleduck. Again, if you guys have Netflix, check out Heart Eyes. It is streaming now. I am definitely going to check it out. That is on my list. Matthew goes, there used to be Sightings, a TV show. I think I remember that one. There's all kinds that come out, and I can't remember. I usually when I watch Netflix, it's usually either like a horror movie came up on it, or I'm watching like a documentary. Like I'm watching the O.J. Simpson doc. I'm watching a documentary about serial killers because I have a thing for serial killers. Don't ask me why, but Leonardo goes, "Pinche pato, I found you." Especially when they talk about Bundy. I don't know why. I just like watching the ones about the different, like Bundy, Dahmer, Gacy, Ed Gein. And then I still gotta watch Ghost Adventures, new one. I think they're investigating Prim in Nevada, the hotel at the state line. I watch it because I just like watching the location. I'm behind on my TV stuff. Also, too, if you have Shudder, I believe The Ugly Stepsister, which is the body horror film, about Cinderella, is out too. So if you're like me and like fairy tales turn horrific, check that out. I think it's a Dutch film, if I'm not mistaken. Heather, whatever goes, big trial this summer, not serial, but spree, alleged Brian Koberger. He still hasn't gone to trial? It seems like forever. I feel like we talked about Brian Kohlberger like last year. Wow, that is crazy. Well, I mean, it was last year, but but it's been ages. D Nice goes, my dad, whenever he would want me to finish my food, he would say K it. So I think of cereal Ks as people finishing their cereal. I have a shirt that says cereal K on it, and it's someone eating cereal. I have to wear that one more often. That is crazy. Super long extension for that trial. Wow. I mean, he's still in jail, so I guess it. But not guilty until proven not guilty. He has a right to a trial. Put it that way. All right, guys. Skeleduck is, hold on, is right there, right where my finger's pointing. That is Skeleduck. Skeleduck is right in between my skeleton Larry and my Annabelle doll, or my Raggedy Ann doll, but I call her Annabelle. It's the reason why I got her. Right there. D Nice goes, I mean, they did tear down the house. Heather, whatever goes, the latest photo of him with a hood is scary. I had to hide him real quick. I was like, holy crap, where can I hide him? All right, guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? It is hot today, and this girl's tired. I'm ready to go memes. Thank you, Heather. Whatever. Good show, Lisa. D Nice is like, are you serious, bro? Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Matthew. All right, guys. Thank you, Gunner Girl. Without further ado, let me check to make sure I don't miss anybody because I hate that. Nope, I didn't. Without further ado, oh, D Nice is asking when I'm mixing. I'm gonna try this weekend because I gotta do it. I gotta thank you, Leonore. I'm glad to see you. In the chat. D Nice is asking when are you mixing? I just gotta do it. I'll probably do it this weekend. I just have to do it. I gotta stop. I have, when it comes to mixing, I'm not confident with it. And I'm the type of person that doesn't let anything stop me, and I'm letting that stop me. So I'm like, why? I don't let anything stop me. I don't even let anxiety stop me. So why am I just need to go up there and do it. So I probably will go this weekend. Danny Rose, I will keep you updated. I will show you one of these days. But if you guys want to follow me on Twitch on my DJ channel, I'm gonna probably go this weekend. I'm gonna try this weekend. Next week I'm not gonna have a stream here because I'm gonna be at EDC. Yeah, exactly. That's why I know that I just need to do it. Thank you, D Nice. So there won't be a stream here on Grayson Report next week because I will be at EDC, but I will see you guys on the next one. Heather, whatever goes, I can't wait to hear you mix. Leonardo goes, I'm waiting for you on Twitch, Lisa. I will, guys. I will go on. I'll try to go on this weekend. For sure. I don't know which day, Saturday or Sunday, but I'll make it a point to go on. Dusty, thank you. All right, guys, without further ado, I am going to end the stream here. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report. I will see you on the next one, guys. Stay spooky, sweet nightmares, and have a great rest of your week and weekend. Good night, guys. I might see you on the Twitch side. All right, guys. Good night. Have a good one. Thank you.